Ladies and gentlemen, just before Hurricane Nicholas, notorious mass murderer Michael was seen strolling the beach in Galveston, and some may have thought that this was a very ominous sign. But the Texas Blue arrested his ass. And I really want to thank all Houstonians, everyone in Asteroid Fight Club, the Prayer Warriors Atmospheric Defense Team, for combining to use our Jedi powers to help kick the crap out of Hurricane Nicholas. And we put up a pretty decent shield over Houston, which kept the impacts from the hurricane pretty dang minimal for us. There were no deaths, and it was mainly like 500,000 power outages, a lot of trees down, and some flooding along the coast. And so you can, like at least you can almost witness the 2 times that this thing just got punched in the face, and then it got ripped in half. I never even lost power. Also, I hadn't taken a day off in 30 days, and I took a day off yesterday, so I actually got some sleep for like 10 hours, so I'm in an extra good mood. But we got a lot of news to cover, man. Corey Powell and Damian Peach letting us know something big smacked into Jupiter yesterday. Yep, that's right. A new impact flash has been discovered on Jupiter by Brazilian observer Jose Luis Barreira. The flash occurred at September 13th. It looks like quite a bright one. Follow-up images did not reveal any scars, though, because Jupiter is tough. Yeah, bam, bam, bam. It just smacked right into Jupiter. Bam. And the latest 00Z GFS has Invest 95L going bam right up into the northeast as a major hurricane. Right now, I would put this at a 50-50 chance of happening. This would happen around the 27th. And right now, we've got another area to watch that may form and go into the Carolinas. Not super worried about it. It's right here. It may bring more heavy rain, but it may just go out to sea. We definitely got a lot to watch. And I regret to inform you, Eric Webb says the pattern has never really favored an out-to-sea fish storm. Here he had said on September 10th, I believe I reported this before, that Super Typhoon Shantao's westerly momentum injection into the North Pacific jet stream this coming week is a big reason why a ridge like this is showing up over southeast Canada in week 2. Hopefully there are no tropical cyclones sitting in the southwest Atlantic, day 10 to 13, which there will be. And so that will be the problem, is there will be a giant ridge which may force this thing somehow into the East Coast and maybe even the Gulf of Mexico. We'll have to continue to watch. So right now what we are hoping for is that wind shear or dry air will kick this thing's ass, but it almost rolled off of Africa as a depression or tropical storm. It's got a 90% chance of developing. And so there's absolutely no way I would let my guard down. And I don't think we are here at Asteroid Fight Club are going to let our guard down until after October for hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? We have to hope that wind shear or dry air will kick this thing's ass. And right now, I'd at least put it at a 50-50 chance of this thing being dangerous to not only Puerto Rico and the islands, but the East Coast. So yes, we have a very challenging second half of September ahead of us, and an even more challenging October. We have the 5th of 5 Pluto square Eris on October 9th, and we're looking out for a possible landfalling hurricane within the 5-day window after that. Last time we did that was on the August 27th Pluto square Eris thing, and we had Hurricane Ida a few days after. So we have a lot to watch out for in the next 6 weeks, including this bad boy down there. And then we like, this situation isn't even done yet. Hurricane Nicholas, or now tropical storm or depression, whatever the hell it is, it brought some pretty heavy rain to Louisiana and Mississippi. At a time they needed the least, they got hit really hard by Hurricane Ida. We're probably going to watch a floody pattern continue for not just the United States, but in many areas in the world over the next year, between now and the second half of first and second half of 2022, I believe. There's so much to talk about right now, including all the major wildfires that have been causing major problems on the west coast of the United States of America. The Dixie Fire may become the biggest fire in American history and break 1 million acres. Energy and natural gas and electricity prices are skyrocketing across the globe. We had a 6.5 earthquake in Chile yesterday. And something I thought was very interesting, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced to everybody that he was going to self-isolate and go into super lockdown after the coronavirus cases had been detected in his inner circle and entourage of homies. And remember, it's not often that like world leaders ever admit weakness or mistakes. So for him to say, oh, my friends got it, I'm going into lockdown, to me, I see that as a big deal. And I want to say again, like, I don't know, I saw a speech with Biden yesterday where he was coughing through the whole speech. And it is so strange for me. I was telling everybody and Trump, like, hey, Trump, dude, don't do so many don't be out in public and running around while the coronavirus is spiking. And so now it's like a year later, and I'm having to say the same thing as to Biden. Like, why the hell are you doing so many public events without a mask, man? Like, the pandemic has been spiking majorly all over the last 5 to 6 weeks. And so it's just a very crazy time, man, that we are going to be dealing. The coronavirus is not going to go away in 2021. So, it's just best for people to play defense, especially if you're the leader of your country. All right. I said my piece. And in yesterday's news, they were like, oh, a spyware company is using a terrifying hack that grants access to like every single Apple device out there in the world without the user having to even click anything. Meaning that, like, they could get access to your phone without you having to click links or anything. They could just get straight in to everybody's iPhone. And remember, that used to be the lie back in the day when they were like, oh yeah, they can't hack iPhones. That was such a lie, bro. And this is the 5th conservative radio talk show host who told everybody not to get the vaccine, that to die of coronavirus in 5 weeks. And as Howard Stern has noted, you don't see the A-lister conservatives dying because they're all vaccinated. You only see the like B-class, C-class conservatives who've been telling people not to get the vaccine to die because they're not vaccinated. I'm just reporting the news, man. And I was hanging out with one of my best friends yesterday on my day off. We went to the Guitar Center. Anyway, and I said, he's not vaccinated. I said, what could I do? What can anybody do to make you get vaccinated? And he said, nothing. But he's prepared with, the Z-Pack and the ivermectin for humans. And he's got all the shit stacked for in case he gets it. So all my friends are at least playing defense, even the ones that aren't vaccinated. I'm just saying, it's going to be a weird and rough fall and winter. And so let's please try to play defense, man. Either way. All right. 19 U.S. landfalls in 17 months. That's remarkable. Because the annual average over time was 3, us getting hit by tropical storms or hurricanes. So yeah, the weather is weird and everything is changing. I think the solar system is changing. Anyway, zip, zap, pow. And remember how, Elon for a decade was billed as like the electricity savior, even call his company Tesla. And then it turns out he was like the biggest proponent of a digital currency, which like literally runs on electricity. So now you have like cryptocurrency exploding and like 20,000 different cryptocurrencies that all run on electricity. I don't know. It's just so weird to have the same people who are pro crypto be dunking on energy inflation. It's like, yeah, instead of us trying to have more affordable electricity, they went out of their way to make it more expensive and release some type of digital currency that runs on electricity, dude. We're in the craziest times ever. Yeah, right now, energy is super spiking across the globe, and that shipping rates across the globe are also spiking. I know Americans or people tend to just blame their own country, but I'm saying these are major problems, but we've been going through a plague and then just so many things we're dealing with over the last 2 to 5 to 10 years, man. But because I'm crazy, I'm staying optimistic that the spring of 2022 will be better. And this is one of the weirder things, dude. Like, some pretty bad takes over the weekend. But how about this 9/11 parade float from Indiana? What? This is so weird. And how come it doesn't have Building 7 in it? Hey, after going from 6 sunspots and a lot of solar flares, the sun is now turning away and may go sunspotless again over the next day or two. Europe is again being besieged with major floods. This time it is France again. France getting hit with super duper heavy flooding. Yeah, look at that, man. That's some super duper nasty flooding in France. So crazy how we've never really modernized any of our infrastructure across the globe. I'm telling you, the next few years are going to be wild. You know, you got to keep a sense of humor, man. Pretty please? Okay, great. And, you know, I only wish the best help for everyone, because losing a major leader of a superpower right now would only destabilize things more. Okay, interesting story that I thought was hilarious. So Nicki Minaj, a world famous rapper, you know, they have the Met Fashion Gala to raise money for the Metropolitan New York Art Museum every year. And it turns out she wasn't going to be able to go because she wasn't vaccinated. And that became news. And then she said, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got the vaccine and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision and not to be bullied. Well, it turns out what she's reporting is that he has chlamydia. So, not, you know, I don't know. The vaccine doesn't make your testicles swell and make you impotent. So that was just hilarious. Remember, I am pro-choice on vaccines, technically across the board. So, you know, it's up to you, but I would definitely recommend play defense. But I just thought the situation was hilarious. So yeah, for 48 hours, the actual vaccine argument discussion got funny for a moment. Yeah, keep your sense of humor, buddies. Now seems like a great time to tell y'all that, hey, THORnews literally runs off of y'all's contributions and donations every single month. And I'm only $215 away from hitting my goal this month for September. So if you guys would like to contribute so I can keep bringing you all this wonderful news in planetary defense commandering, you can send me a letter, a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App, or Patron. Although today they broke into our mailboxes again. So shit is weird. It's a weird world after all. How would you like a glancing blow? Sarah Hossiel, a filament eruption in the northwest quadrant early on the 13th, has current consensus between Swespec and NASA as a potential glancing blow or direct hit around the 17th. Okay, we will continue to monitor this mofo. But remember the filament that tore off? But right now, yeah, we could get glancingly blown. I think in my previous video, we showed the filament being ripped off. Track it down if you want to. A partial halo CME. This is apparently from the eruption of a filament captured by STO. So, yo, glance and blow. Ben Noel Winter 21, 2022. The chance for a weaker than normal stratospheric polar vortex has been well chronicled by climate models. As the season gets closer and signal persists, it's looking more likely. Early winter high latitude blocking could dislodge Arctic air southward. So we're going to stay tuned on everything pretty much. Energy suppliers in the United Kingdom keep collapsing. Well, that aged rather well. Ofgem reports of 2 more power and gas retailers that have just collapsed with a combined clientele of over 500,000 homes. Yeah, so it's crazy out there, man. And then throw volcanoes into the mix. Smoke them if you got them. I'm now going to light a cigarette with matches. Here we go. All right. Yeehaw. Scott McIntosh letting us know data continues to suggest that solar cycle 25 could be very strong, which is technically good news because empires fall during solar minimum and then they rise during solar maximum. Remember, Superman gets his energy from the sun. I'd like to state again that I love Asteroid Fight Club so much, and I'm glad everyone survived the damage from Nicholas. And yeah, dude, I'm going to be super duper hyper tracking 95L along with everyone else. And, you know, we're going to stay in defensive mode until the spring. I'll say this again, like every major planet is in retrograde mode. You got Uranus, Eris, Chiron, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, all retrograde. And then Mercury will be going retrograde at the end of the month. And then we have the 5th of 5 Pluto-Eris squares October 9th. So buckle up, buddies. It's going to get wild. There will be death. There will be destruction. There will be chaos. There will be mayhem. But I think we will survive, man. And eventually this world is going to improve. That is how I'm betting anyway. But I hope you have a good Wednesday morning. Severe thunderstorms are possible this afternoon and this evening, mainly between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. The main threats for central Pennsylvania are damaging wind gusts and localized flash flooding. Pay attention to the weather in your area this afternoon. Okay. I'd like to say again, I am simply grateful to God, Jesus Christ, Asteroid Fight Club, and everyone awesome out there. And I do love it when everyone is funny, cool, plays defense, makes great decisions. Highest risk of a severe thunderstorm in New England today, this afternoon, is from western Maine through central New Hampshire and southern Vermont. This evening, 6 to 9. So more strong storms coming. Joe Biden proposed a face-to-face summit with Xi Jinping in a call last week, and then the media reported that he turned him down. We don't know if that's true. Remember, as Planetary Defense Commander, I never want to lose a president on my watch. And technically, if we're going to have things improve, Russia, China, and the United States of America have to get along in some way, shape, or fashion, dude. But of course, Tracy Alloway, the CPI component everyone's watching out for is what's going on with mayonnaise. Answer, CPI for other fats and oils came in at 6.6 year over year and 5.8 in July, because everybody's talking about inflation. Inflation is happening. But the good news is that the price of soy oil is starting to come down. So that should feed into mayonnaise soon. And that affects me directly because I eat a lot of ranch dressing, being a Texan. All right. Kitty cats. But I want to state again, yeah, there's a lot of reason to believe that there's a good chance that 95L could be headed towards the United States of America due to the blocking high. As discussed yesterday, late next week guidance continues to show blocking high red over northeast, which could turn 95L back towards the USA. Stay tuned. Of course, I will, and y'all will. You know, it's gonna like crazy days, man. Crazy days ahead. And so right now, I would put it at a 50-50 chance that we get punched in the face by 95L around the 27th-ish. And then models keep showing other weird crap coming up and coming into Carolinas before that. A lot can change, a lot will change. This is the very latest, hot off the press, is not even done GFS run, and it shows it barely missing the East Coast. But models consistently show it developing and continuing to be a hurricane. Puerto Rico, we will be watching for you guys, and in the islands as well. The models continue to show it going north, but watch that one that pops up there, and then goes into the Carolinas. And this would be a very near miss, and watch that weird ass turn, but it keeps it at major category strength as it passes up into the cold areas. So we will be tracking it. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, tiny bit of Florida are under a red risk watch for heavy rainfalls today. And then up through here as the two storms are combining. Global food prices are up 33% in August from a year earlier. Food is now more expensive than almost any time in the past 6 decades. I can confirm that. I too go to grocery stores and buy it. The Northwest might be getting its first significant storm of the season, which would bring much needed rain at the end of the week, into the weekend. We're talking significant moisture. And hey, look at that snow, dude. It's almost snow season. Taylor Swift was 5 years old in 1994. Yeah, we've gotten fires in a bunch of states. Man, it's pretty nasty wildfire season. Zach Covey, as Tropical Depression Nicholas pulls further east today, the flood threat will set up across the eastern Louisiana and parts of Mississippi. Flood watches are in effect for Lake Charles through Panama City, Florida. We're already tracking some flood alerts this AM. Now remember, Thanos is still running around in plague form killing people, so please play defense and please pray for everyone around you. Prayer helps. Denton County Fire Marshal Roland Acevedo has died from complications of COVID, and the police chief from Miami continues to report that I think they've lost like 13 policemen to COVID in the last week and a half. And so that's one of the best ways to track, honestly and logically, the truth of like how bad it is. And it has been bad in Texas and Florida and a lot of places. Incredible Sedna is a planetoid of about 1,000 kilometers of diameter, very far from us. It needs 11,400 years to complete an orbit around the sun. And yeah, Sedna. You know, we are in for a pretty shaky 6 months ahead of us. But we are Asteroid Fight Club, and technically, that's what we've been training for like 7 or 8 years to deal with it. Well, I mean, you could say our entire lives. And that, yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rocky. There are going to be many times it's going to look like the world is ending. But I predict we're going to keep it together, and eventually things will improve. But what we need is teamwork, keeping a sense of humor. We need civilization stabilization and conflict resolution. Oh, hey, they kind of unveiled their secret F-1117 air fighter today, or yesterday, and which is cool. I like airplanes. You see if we can get a better shot of it. Yeah, avoid World War III. That has been it's one of my main jobs as Planetary Defense Commander, is just making sure everybody stays cool during these times where you have power vacuum problems all over the world. You have pandemic profiteering. You have a misinformation system where, they try and divide and conquer everybody along whatever line they can come up with. Crazy days, man. And in sad news, one of my favorite comedians of all time, Norm Macdonald, passed away from cancer yesterday at age 61. And it's just far too many people who should have lived longer have been dying since 2017, maybe even 2015, in my opinion. So we got to turn that tide. And, especially super funny people, man. We got to protect everybody, and especially super funny people. I think there's a stand-up by Norm on Netflix called Hitler's Dog. It was the last stand-up he did. It's hilarious. The best joke, one of my favorite jokes he ever did, was about Germany. Highly recommend you watch it if you get a chance. And so I think we're going to have to work hard to have fun and enjoy life, because there's still a lot of wonderful, magical things out there. Over the next 6 months, that it is going to be crazy. You're going to have to go out of your way to try to enjoy life. Remember that it is magical, and it's a gift, and that any of us could die any day. No, the future is not promised to anyone. You know what I'm saying, man? Also, comedy has totally kept me sane throughout all of this. I also recommend Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I think it's also on Netflix or HBO, with Jerry Seinfeld, where he sits down and talks to comedians all the time. The episode with Norm Macdonald is super great. Bon homie, good nature, or it could means good homies. Yeah, prepare for trouble. Star World letting us know new logistical bottleneck trouble just dropped as supply chain issues are happening across the globe. And Norm Macdonald is one of the super rare white men that conservatives and Republicans, men and women, conservatives, liberals, Republicans, Democrats, men, women, everybody loved him. Like, if you had any taste at all, he was just a good dude that was really funny, that knew how to tell an excellent story. And he had a unique perspective on everything. So it was another major loss for us. That's why I try to stay away from people who are angry all the time and never funny. I really, 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 really enjoy funny people, man. And I really want the world to calm down so I can get back to being hilarious. Yeah, here we see smoking a swirl off the California coast. I want to thank y'all again. You guys stick with me no matter what my mood seems to be, and I appreciate that. SOL means shit out of luck. Anyway, Solana, which is one of those many cryptocurrencies out there, but the blockchain for red hot crypto Solana hit a processing snag and stopped working. It was having problems validating transactions. And remember, my prediction, I make some really great predictions, man, is that cryptocurrency will get its ass kicked in the middle of December, and that will probably run through 2022. Remember, I'm the guy who told you that cryptocurrency was going to get its ass kicked when Jupiter went into Pisces in the middle of May, and that happened. But then Jupiter retrograded back into Saturn, and so you saw crypto go back up again, which I totally predicted. And so crypto will probably do decent until December, and then it'll have major problems. So just letting everybody know, like I do. And yep. But like things will continue to escalate and get crazy and wild and weird until like the middle of October. And we're just like we focused on the August 27th date, and then 5 days after, it's kind of the same thing with October. We're now building up to the October 9th date, and then the hurricane would probably be 13 or 5 days after that, 3 or 4, whatever. And I'm sure a lot will happen between now and then. Frank Strait, the Eastern Atlantic critter, is looking better today, but it's going to take a while to develop. So yeah, all eyes on 95L now. Zip zap pow. After 30 days of work, I took 1 day off, and man, I really recharged my batteries, and I feel great. Weather forecasters for professionals says bad news for cool weather lovers. A building ridge in the east means lingering heat. And so yeah, that's, you have hotter than normal, up to 30 degrees temperatures. You have a heat ridge here, which means all this is going to be hot too. So you're going to get abnormal heat in the east, although it'll be cooler in the west. But that means that you'll definitely have more chance for cyclonic tropical development. And check out all this lightning in Britannia. Weather deck showing us the several large dust storms in Argentina yesterday. There's a lot happening. So I take 1 day off, and you guys end up with me giving you a 30-minute update video. And 30 minutes gives me a chance to trigger everybody. Definitely not pumpkin spice weather, bitches. I'm worried that if I did get to cuddle, I might lose my superpowers. Oh, those damn trampolines. Hey, did you lose a trampoline during the storm? Because Marines for Life, hoorah, has one if you're looking for it, if it's lost. And I'm not saying I alone Jedi punched the hurricane and reduced its power a lot, but it felt like it for 24 hours. But it's a big team, man. We're a giant team. There's no way, I'm in no way, shape, or form I'm trying to take any of the credit. But I did feel good for the last 24 hours because we didn't get hit with a major devastating, and nobody died. And Mike Myers got arrested. But yeah, Moonraker Day 2021 continues. Or Moonraker 2021 continues. Living on Mars just doesn't sound that exciting to me. Especially after I've been locked down and never really traveled much in my life. I would definitely like to spend, if I do get to live another decade or two, I would like to do some of the traveling that I haven't gotten a chance to do. You know what I'm saying? The worms, or the worm poop is spice, Dune. And Joe was saying that, like, nobody really uses Bitcoin to buy stuff. People only use Bitcoin to invest. Meaning, like, you're not buying burritos and underwear with Bitcoin. So right now, the only revenue to miners is coming from the generating the block of the, like, using electricity. So there's very little demand for block space. Zach Voile, fee revenue, mining revenue from fees as a percentage of total revenue continues to plummet, even though total revenue last month spiked with Bitcoin's price. Fees were only 1.3%. And so, I don't know. So it's hitting its lowest mark since percentage of total revenue. And the whole mining of using electricity to mine that shit, I don't know. Man, it's all very odd, bro. Yeah, it might be a problem that hardly anyone is spending Bitcoin. He wrote about the lack of fees that miners are generating due to Bitcoin's lack of usage outside of hodling and speculating. Like I said, I think crypto's going to do fine until December. And then it's going to get punched in the face. And it was weird. I had a bunch of the crypto guys donate and contribute to THORnews in 2017, but none of them like me now, even though I called it accurately and said, hey, sell your shit in the middle of May, and then you can buy back at the end of July, and it'll start skyrocketing again. So I called it correctly, and if people did listen to me, they made a lot of money off of it. Anywho, but this job is not about me making money or taking credit or getting rewards. It's just about me trying to be the best planetary defense commander I can be. And today's the day where I feel like I've done a great job. And I'm just happy. Yep. Popocatépetl volcano is still exploding. And with all the gas giants on the same side, we're still going to be watching out for an increase in volcano and earthquake activity. And I think in the second half of 2022, earthquakes and volcanoes may be a major story. Boom. So yeah, something hit Jupiter yesterday. That's a major story. And remember, Jupiter's retrograde and Saturn's retrograde. Saturn goes direct on the 9th, the same day of the Pluto air square. And then Jupiter goes direct on the 17th. So I think I'll be hanging on for my whole life with money and whatever until like the middle of October. So hopefully you guys will continue to contribute and support me to make sure that I can make it, because I do a good job, I think. All right, so please remember, avoid World War III. And I'm sorry, man, there's just literally no evidence that suggests there's going to be a grand solar minimum anytime in the next decade or two. Scott McIntosh again, showing the projections just based off the sunspots that we've been seeing, and that we are going to have probably a very strong solar cycle 25, which is great news. So just enjoy the great news. And it's okay to be wrong about stuff, you know? Although I predicted this right. Okay, everybody stay cool. And if you'd like to contribute, it would be super duper greatly appreciated. You know how to do it. I got $215 left. And I got to say super duper thank you to everybody in Asteroid Fight Club. You guys are so incredible. And that includes, wait, okay, did anybody watch this whole video? If that's so, that's amazing. But thank you to Andrea, Sarah, Pep, Life's Lemons, Dave, Nunya Tex in the year 2525, John, Angel, Wizard of Oz, Rick, Captain Late Night, Nancy, Corey, Bryce, Elda, May, Texas Angel, Barbara, Alex, Alexis, Arnica, Ann, KJ, Max, Lauren, Daryl, Brian, Dan, Marlita, Richard, Lightsoul, Glenda, Matthew, Bryce, Charles, Tracy, Pink Wolf Girl, Cody, Greg, John, Jamie, Mad Motifs, Darlene, Ed, and all the defenders and protectors out there. Man, they sure are putting up a lot of satellites and sending shit off into space just constantly, almost every day, all day. But hey, thanks for letting me have a day off. I went and played electric guitar, and H played keyboard. It was so fun at Guitar Center. And then we went to Whataburger, and he bought my meal. I got a Swiss, what is it, Swiss mushroom burger. I got onion rings, and I got a giant strawberry shake. And as we were eating, they played Selena Gomez over the overhead. So, I don't know. I had a great day off. So, I appreciate y'all. Everybody stay cool, and I will talk to y'all in the near future. God bless everyone. Let's try and have a great life. Okay.